Live streaming is on.
And we are live. Usually I do this one other time where I just like say whatever, but this is a special occasion because Dion wanted to join in on this. So and we already did our podcast, so we just going to call it. Usually, when we have extra stuff to say, I usually call this the after party. So Dion, welcome to the after party.
What up? What up?
All right. So what we're about to get into is a video that came from Comedy Hype and it was about comedian Yamanika Sanders and comedian Pierre. They was going on about the Megan Thee Stallion Tory Lanez case, in which we did talk about it, but we really didn't get into this part. Nor like I just seen this video today, and Dion has also seen the video this morning. So Dion, two things: do you want me to bring the video up, or do you just want to get to what you want to say?
For context purposes, yeah, just go ahead and throw up the video.
All right. All right. While I throw the video up, what did you? While I'm gonna go ahead and search for the video. What did you think about it?
While on one hand, she did have some, semi-valid talking points. However, there was a lot of stuff she was going on about that had nothing to do with the original situation, for starters. And I sensed a lot of projecting with some of what she was talking about.
Everyone's been talking.
I agree with that. So
And it was moments when it was just flat out. All right, ma'am. Now you bugging.
okay. So what do you? Okay, I got the video up. So hold on. Let me share the screen. Where do you want me to start? To where she started ranting, or
Yeah, yeah. Because when she starts going on her little rant or whatever and starts shouting back and forth with Pierre, that's when she lost it. That's when she lost me completely, I should say. She was already saying some questionable things, and when Pierre challenged her on some of the more questionable shit that was coming out of her mouth, and the way she responded, yeah, I was done.
okay? So because that's like far into the video. Yeah, when the dude start asking this question, you want me to start from right here?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Who should respond? How do you feel that the court should respond? How do you think that society and Black people in general should respond?
If Megan Stallion is lying about being shot, yeah, then she should get it whatever the full extent of the law is at that point, man. Pay court costs and so forth. It's she's turned it into a tizzy. Her playing the victim. If that's she's lying. I just don't even hope it's that. But yeah, if she's lying, then she can get law, further extent of the law. As is if he's lying, if he did shoot her or he shot her, she gets the same thing.
Yeah, obviously, if she's lying, there should be repercussions for that. But I don't understand how she would be lying. They've already found gun residue. She was shot. They've already determined that. I think for me, if I saw all these brothers getting upset after this point, with the evidence, it would be like, okay, but it was instantly nobody believed her. Then we found out it was gun residue. Oh, now it's gun residue. Now we're trying to figure out which one of them, because if you start taking things off the plate, you got to take off the gun now because she has been shot. Now, was it the best friend that did it, or was it Tory Lanez that did it? That I don't know. But I'm glad that we can finally put to rest that she was shot. There was gun residue there. We probably will never know what happened in that car. Because when we start to arguing and doing shit and shit gets quiet, shit is quiet. But I hope we can determine who shot her, and then we can go, well, she did say Tory shot her, and then we found out the best friend shot her. Then there's questions that need to be answered from that point.
Okay, I do want to say this, and before I get to the answer, I do want to say this. I'm not one of the dudes who be like believe all women, but when I heard her story, and then when I heard Tory Lane's story, Meg's story, when she first went on, it seemed more on the track, whereas Tory Lanez, I've heard him jump from many times. Even though she did lie and said she was stepping on some glass until she got shot, I understood that her reasoning because black men was, it's the height of police brutality, and black men was getting shot, and from cops and all that other stuff. You was afraid they shoot Tory. I understand that. Now, as the further the case goes on, and I said this, the further the case goes on, the trial's been looking kind of funny to where even people that was on Meg's side are starting to second guess because it seems like it's all over the place now and what is really hiding. So with that being said, I knew she was shot. We done seen and a lot of people confirmed she was shot. They was wondering if it was Pierre or if it was the best friend that shot her. So,
you mean Tory?
Tory, I'm sorry.
You said Pierre. See, the more that comes out about this, I'm starting to believe her friend shot her. To which, if it was an accidental shooting of some sort, someone should have said that from the start of this motherfucker. That's what this is beginning to look like to me. And out of panic, they just blame Tory Lanez. That's what this is starting to look and sound like to me personally. With this whole situation. And also, I owe Tory Lanez an apology. When this story first broke, what was it, year and a half ago?
About 2020.
Yeah, so year and a half, almost 2 years ago, whatever. Man, listen. Myself, along with the vast majority of the black male community, was calling Tory Lanez every bitch nigga in the book. Let's be real. But now that we know some more shit about this situation, Tory Lanez, if this by whatever miracle ever makes it to your ears, I apologize for every bad thing I ever said about you.
I see Material Life done into the chat. How you doing, B?
Hey.
She's muted. I don't know if you're muted. B.
Unmute your mic.
Lord, just like
she's having a connectivity problem for starters.
Yeah, I know. It was damn gypsy. Shit. Anyway, until she comes, let me just say, I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get to
there she go.
How do I get rid of all the other people, like the other me's?
Don't worry. If it doesn't echo,
don't worry about it.
If it doesn't echo, it's not a problem. But
okay.
Plus, they'll disappear. Which one is talking? Go ahead, say something.
I don't know.
There you go.
Well, they disappeared.
Yeah.
All right. To get you caught up, B, we was talking about there's this video of Comedy Hype where there was basically a heated debate, and it was about the Megan Tory case. Now, I know you and I, we had a conversation about the embarrassment thing, but this is more or less on the trial and the protection of black women, in which Yamanika and Pierre and this dude was talking about. So let me ask you this question. As a black woman, do you feel protected?
Protected how?
Good question.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, so in general, I think the real question is, do you feel safe around your black men? I think that's the real question here.
It depends on do I feel safe as in like going to sleep next to like a black man I consider a friend? Or like, do I feel safe
amongst community in general? If something happens, you feel like your black men will actually have your back.
I kind of, I feel like they'll have my back. Well, I don't have black men that's
Because
That's
because what Ray was, I'm trying to help Ray out with what he was saying, and I asked that question the way I asked it for a reason, and the reason is this. On one hand, and this plays into what I said earlier when I said she does have some valid talking points. The lady in the video, yeah, there are instances where when it comes to black women, the ball has been dropped, right? In terms of coming to their rightful defense and protection. Key term being rightful. Because one thing me personally, I will never defend a liar. I will never defend nor protect a liar, regardless of who it is. And some lies have been told when it comes to this situation between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion.
a lot has been told.
She's lied about sleeping with him,
Yeah.
and it's safe to assume she's lying about about who shot her because she's changed stories. What was it, 4 or 5 times?
Something like that.
She should have just been honest and say she don't know who shot her because she was facing the opposite direction.
I think
But she,
because here's the thing, they did. I believe they described like who was sitting where in said vehicle, right?
Right.
Tori security, her
From
Tori, her and her friend.
from the way I'm looking at it, it's starting to look to me like her friend may have, had a strap on her, accidentally popped her in the leg. They panicked and said Tory Lanez did XYZ. That's what it's starting to look. It's kind of like to me.
Hmm. It didn't start off with Tori. It started off with it was glass in her foot. And then I think once everyone
What's
started blaming her best friend, saying her best friend shot her, then it became Tori shot her.
see, we won't know for sure. Like, I don't think we'll know for sure who did or didn't do what until this is over with.
I think we still won't know even when this is over with. We know she got shot. That's what we do know. We don't know
Like,
if it was by accident, if they was fighting for the gun, or what the situation was, or how it went about. Because Megan was turned
I'm
around. She was also drunk, intoxicated.
I'm still on the point of uh, no one's going to tell us exactly what happened in the car and what led
Hmm.
to what. I feel like we'll never know that.
Yeah.
That's the key component to this that we'll never really know the exact conversation, altercation, whatever that led to that.
Mm. I low key want to see what this video said. Like, why do they feel like? So I know it. I feel like for black women, the whole black woman needs to be protected or whatever the case may be, or they're not protected. Some black women feel like they're not protected amongst the peers that they hang around because they not, fighting for them for justice and But it depends. I guess it depends on the people you have around you.
Right.
Like,
See, like that's that's
and
another that plays into another piece of this that I wanted to kind of touch on, but finish what you were saying first, because
and also it also depends on what do you need this. Are you seeking this black man to defend you on?
right.
Because you can't ask a black man. Like, I understand, like, females be like, it don't matter if our black man is wrong. We be right there with them, holding strong with them, supporting them, riding through with them, riding, dying for them. But when it's the tables has turned, and we expect them to stand strong with us, ride out with us, be wrong with us. Like, I'm sorry, sis. He was asking for a lot. I'm sorry. Like, why would you stand strong knowing he wrong? And then be mad when he don't do the same for you. You asked him for something that he did not want. He didn't ask you to give, but you gave because that's just your personality. But you was expecting the same back and didn't get it, and now you feel like they not standing with you. Some black men ain't standing with girls even when they right. I understand that, but it just depends on what black man you got around you.
So basically, I've always been like this. It's just like, if I know you, it's just like know that I want your best interests. I want to protect you the best way I can. B, you know me for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I've always had your back on things, and then like
Yeah.
anybody can tell. Like anybody that know me knows that even though I joke around, I say a lot of dumb things. You know that I'm usually there. And I'm usually on try to protect the women that is around me. I personally usually make it my job to make women feel safe around me, because if you're not comfortable around me, I don't want you around me. If you don't feel comfortable, then you don't need to be in my space and all that stuff. So that's the one thing. I always try to make the atmosphere comfortable. But usually I do hear women just like they say they don't feel protected. And then usually it's like our first thing is, well, who are you hanging around? Who are the people you're hanging around that you don't feel protected? Why don't you feel protected? And it's just like, if it's sort of like what Meg said to Tori. It's just like, if this is the nigga that's abusing you, why are you saving him? Because if anything, these are the people that are causing you the trouble. And if they are black men, and most black men tell you, aka the Pookies and the Ray Rays, even though I hate saying that, if these are the men that are abusing you, disrespecting you, and all that stuff, you probably need to be away from them. And I know some people are just. I know for some people it's easier said than done, depending on your situation. But also, for the way I see it, most men, they tell you, like, you could tell when a nigga is no good. Either they tell you, or niggas around you tell you, or people know his rap sheet. So it's just like there are other I don't mind protecting women, but at what cost? And also, like most men, it's just like
that part. At what cost?
Yeah, at what cost?
I won't. First of all, if the cost don't equal me going to jail, I ain't protecting you.
And
I
you
love
said
you,
that clear.
I ain't protecting you. I tell you that right now.
Right,
Don't go robbing
right. I'm not about to get myself in trouble and put my life in danger over something that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not that guy.
I'm not that girl. Rob a bank around me. I walk out the car and call the police. Tell them he right here. Come get him. Exactly. I'm not about to be accessory to no crime for no man or no woman. I don't care what type of. You ain't getting no protection out of me for that.
No. Say that a little louder for the folks in the back, because it's
if someone's disrespecting you and you just you ain't doing nothing, someone disrespecting, okay, I understand. Yo, like, what's going on with you? Like, why are you disrespecting? Like, I understand that. But if you out of control, you just, running rampant, just acting crazy, and then you want me to be also protecting you while I'm looking at you like, who the hell did I bring with me? No, I'm not protecting that. I'm not protecting out of control behaviors when it's not even warrant. So now we both got to be fighting people because you got in your feelings about something I was confused about. No.
And if I'm protecting you off of a lie, and then I realize that you lied about it, then it's like I might not protect you ever again. It's just like, or I'm just going to be cautious. It's just like, are you telling me the whole truth, or are you telling me your side of the story to make you feel good? Because I know a lot of people do that, men and women. Sometimes we fabricate or we tell stories that make us look good and the person is bad. So
they call that half truths.
Yeah, the half truths or some shit like that. Some people don't like. I have there's times where I want to make sure it's just like, okay, if you're going to be on my side, I got to make sure the shit I got to tell you the shit, places I fucked up on themselves, just so you can say, okay, at least give you a fair assessment. Now you can either help me with some advice, or you can say, all right, I got your side, all right, I got your back, or you can say you need to get the fuck away from that person. So
All right.
it's also, it's also about taking accountability of your own actions. So,
Right.
do I feel like do I feel like black women are protected? I can say no, but it's like, but it also depends on the situation that you put yourself in. Like if someone, like if a random man like tries to rope you or grab you, some shit like that, yeah, I'll fight the nigga for you, especially if you don't know him. I'll do that. But if it's just like, if it's like some if it's like two people arguing and they're fucking, most of the time I won't jump in because you want to defend the woman, and then next thing you know she's fighting you and the husband is fighting you, and all of a sudden and they get back together. Or like relationships where you're trying to help out and the woman goes back to the abuser. It's just like, I'm risking my life for you to go back to your abuser. It's like no man wants to really do that. So men, we're like really, it's like double dutch. We're just waiting for the time to jump in.
Exactly.
That's the best.
I got one other thing to add to this protection of black women conversation. The strong, independent, I don't need no man narrative, that shit needs to die. If you're gonna sit here and beg and plead for men in general to come to your rescue, then that whole I'm a strong, independent so and so, I'm boss bitch XYZ, and I don't need no man, that mentality needs to die.
It can't live together. You can't not need a man but then need a man. What?
Right. You gonna sit and complain about how men aren't freaking coming to your rescue and protecting you and this, that, and the third, and then in literally the same breath call yourself queen, boss bitch, whatever. I don't need no man, blah blah blah. Pick a struggle. Pick a motherfucking struggle.
All right. Let me go ahead and get back to the video. By the way, whenever y'all see something and y'all want to say pause the video, just let me know and I'll pause the video.
That makes 100%. That makes sense. And what I will say, I agree. Obviously, she got shot, but I think the way that she went about it by protecting Mr. Lanes, I think it was the wrong way to go about it. I think we always talk about
And this is why I tell black women not to do that anymore. When I tell black women not to protect black men like that, I also get attacked from black men saying that I hate black men. What you guys are missing, and this is no disrespect to you guys, but as a black woman, it gets very frustrating, is that I keep telling you the reason why black women show up in this way to not call the cops on you guys is because we don't want you to be murdered. Then the response is, oh, well, you don't mind getting your ass beat? What I tell you is black women are not even thinking about that. Black women have been so sure we should, but that's not the conversation that is had with black women. Even if you see this with
talk with your black girlfriends and tell them that. Tell your black girlfriends to do that. You need to tell your black girlfriends to do that. I'm not going to let you over talk. You're not going to let you over You need to tell your girlfriends to stop protecting the black men when they shoot you. That's what you do. If you don't do that, it's going to work. I can talk all day long over you. I don't have a problem with that.
I wasn't done talking to you. I'm not talking over you. You're talking over me. That's number one. That's number one. And this is exactly what the black community is where it is.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
Pause it, Ray. Pause it, Ray.
I don't know if I should pause it right there, but that shit, wow. But go ahead, D.
Okay. It's too much going on. I don't know how, like, why he's at this point beyond pissed at homegirl to the point now, like, she cannot talk. He is, anything she said out her mouth instantly triggers him. But first of all, when she spoke on the fact, which is confusing to me, like I want to agree to her and I want to like stand firm with her and all that, but it's capped. First of all, a black woman saying she's not gonna call the police on a man because she don't want him to go to jail or whatever the case may be, and or well, is it better like she's not thinking about the fact that he keeps beating on her, and that's why she's not calling the police on him because she don't want him to get murdered or whatever. But then in the sense of like the whole Megan stuff. But then turn around. Your whole storyline was reason why you didn't tell the police that you thought Tory shot you or whatever the case may be is because you didn't want him to get killed or go to prison after the fact. Because by the time the police came and everything, you was talking to them. It wasn't a hostile situation no more at that point in time. So we don't give that false narrative as if like the reason why she was doing that was because she didn't want him to. No, it was already calmed down. They already knew that there was a weapon and everything. So that false narrative, let's just cancel it. Don't even use that. And then to also say that but then turn around and file a legal court case in regards to him shooting you, in regards to which could possibly put him in prison for a very long time. How can you or you feel like okay, the police or whatever the justice system does are black men wrong, but then turn around and use the same system you felt was horrible against him? Like you gotta pick a side. You don't like the police system, you don't like the justice system, you don't like the police, you don't like the legal system, and not use them. But you can't say, the reason why I didn't want to say it was because I felt like don't try to play on black people's emotions. Please don't do it. And that's the reason why black people have turned on her. It's because everything you stand on originally is capation. If you was gonna stand on protecting them, stay on protecting them. And this whole legal case would have never even been a thing. But the fact
See,
is you switching words is kind of annoying and then trying to play on our black people's emotion like a Democrat. Let me mind my business.
I'm even more reason why I think the it was her friend that accidentally popped in the leg. It was an accident. I want to believe it was an accident of some sort.
I think it was an
And
accident.
like again, pardon the background noise. What was I about to say?
You
don't
said
know
it
what
was
your
an
friend.
accident and her friend popped her.
Like I said, what I think was happening here. Like I just said, it was an accident. Megan was trying to protect the homegirl, which is why she originally pointed fingers at Tory Lanez. But
Hmm.
now this shit is starting to unravel.
Hmm. I honestly feel like I'm not trying to downplay the Rihanna and Chris Brown situation, but
Oh God,
uh,
I'm sorry. I'm
let's
just
be
tired of hearing
honest.
about that.
Rock Nation does this type of shenanigans. I don't think Megan expected it to backfire as much as it did. And so all her team kept on sending her on interviews, which kept on backfiring even more. She should have just remained silent and just let it blow over. But instead, they kept on sending her out there to get slaughtered by the media. And every time she got slaughtered and slaughtered, to the point now her career is suffering over it. People are starting to question her. People are starting to look at her differently. She's losing a lot of these celebrities. It's not playing in her favor. And so now she's at court. She's talking about, I wish this never happened. Like, I don't even understand why I have to do this. This is what you asked for.
How do you think Tory Lanez feels?
Yeah, you asked for this court case. You by going to Gail King and then saying you didn't sleep with Tori to later on get on stand and say you did. Oh, I didn't have sexual. Girl, is you Clinton?
And
I didn't
shoot,
have
in regards to
sexual
that, I think
relations
wasn't it
with
her
this
friend that told
woman.
on her about that anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she
Like I
got
don't know full
she
detail
got
of
into a
who
fight
did
with
or
her
didn't
friend
say whatever
at
in
the
the
party.
courtroom. So all I can do is ask questions.
Exactly.
Yep. And she got into a fight with her friend at the party too. So
Exactly. Because
and plus, and B got a point. Like she's been known to like hop on other different celebrities and all that other stuff, especially with the female rappers that be beefing with each other. So she
exactly.
she's been known to team hop. So you really like. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about it, but you really can't trust people that team hop all the time. You don't know where they stand.
Exactly.
So,
Uh where do your goddamn loyalties lie?
The career she wanted so badly, the career she did so much for, to watch it dwindle down off of a case, off of a nigga who wasn't even popping hotter than you is even sadder. Like you could,
That that's actually kind of funny to me. I'm sorry.
like she ended up giving him more clout and better clout.
Right,
Like
all this
Tori was
situation does
still
is move story.
Tori. I'm not saying like Tori was no D-list celebrity. Tori had good music and stuff, but now Tori is mingling and chilling with like celebrities that wouldn't even pay him attention before.
Right, his
amazing, yeah, amazing how like the tables have turned.
Yeah, just off of the hate they got for Megan. Like it's not even in regards to like, him musically because they not doing music with him. Some of them are, but like it's just off of pure hate for Megan. Like
It died, didn't it?
the industry you fought so hard, you did so much like, filthy stuff on has turned their back
I
on you
I wouldn't
and
refer
switched sides.
to I wouldn't refer to it as like a case of hatred or resentment. It it's just that it's we can't trust you.
Mhm.
That's what it boils down to. You've created a situation. You put yourself in a position where
Mhm.
niggas cannot trust you.
And she thought her team was like, moving her in the right direction, and it's backfiring. She should have never went on Gail King. She should have just stayed quiet. She should have never did no live streams. It's just everything just backfiring left and right.
She
You know what's
she
funny? I
messed
said that
up
too.
the moment. What? So what you gonna say?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I said that. I agree with me. I said that too. She's like, tell your story once and then just get on about it, and then like don't say nothing until the court cases.
Exactly.
That's how most people tell you. Just like, hey, until the court case is settled, don't say nothing to the media.
And it's because everybody was saying, "Oh, when Kelsey come on, we just know Kelsey about to tell the truth. Anything Kelsey say gonna be fact." Because Kelsey was quiet every time people want to hear what Kelsey had to say. Oh, what about this? Tori stayed quiet because he couldn't talk. If Tori had talked, it would have been. If Corey was able to talk, I think this case would have even been worse because he probably would have been saying
I,
stuff that they was gonna be using against him. And so now it's like everyone, the media has turned against her, and literally, like I said, the court is like if you get the people on your side, it's a win-win. But the people ain't on her side because her story can't stay straight, and half the time Megan is always drunk, and so it's like, girl, how can you remember your story when you're always
uh,
intoxicated?
shoot, one one of her past flings or boyfriends or whatever literally dumped her because of her drinking. I remember that.
Yeah. Even when she's
I
on
can't
live,
remember who the
she's
dude was, but
drinking.
I know that was the thing that caused them to break up. He couldn't deal with her drinking.
Yeah, she's a bad drunk. I've seen her. She's a very
And
bad.
Party even said that too. She drinks a lot. And he
I
be
think,
trying to slow her down, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that drinking exists, and I'm only. This is my assumption. I don't think it's partial. But I think like after her mom died, I'm pretty sure like that drinking. I know that's how most people cope with the loss of a loved one. They usually inducing alcohol. So I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
usually everything goes into that. So let's continue with the video.
You don't need to tell your problem.
Also, but understand, also, that's why you're getting upset about it. The same thing as when I said that, Pierre.
Finish over me. Finish over me.
I think
And that's fine. You're not
That's
gonna.
all you wanted to do?
We're gonna get the phone. Y'all get a chance. We're gonna get a chance to be fine.
No states where black when black women are telling black men how vulnerable they are, and then you get antagonized, then you got these.
Hey, Dion, mute yourself for a minute. All right, thank you.
Brothers over here laughing.
When can I speak, man? John, if I can't
We're gonna put final thought. Hold on. No, don't do that, P. Don't do that, P. Hold on.
Black men. That's totally fine. I was talking. You understand? He talked over me. And I'm talking about something that's very serious when I'm talking about domestic abuse and black women. And I'm not going to sit here, have him talk over me in something serious and dangerous, and the stats show it. And then you got goofball black niggas over there laughing at black women in DV cases. It's dangerous. And I'm telling you, and I don't care if he gets mad. When black men laugh like that and they get mad when black women talk about vulnerability and the murder rate for black women, it's because they're part of the problem and they don't want to hear it. It's dangerous. I don't give a fuck about nobody having no fucking bad feeling like that. I'm a black woman. Black women are being fucking murdered disproportionately. You don't see black women out here murdering niggas at the rate that niggas murder black women. Because if black women were murdering black men at the rate that black men murder black women, they would have a fucking problem. And then to say because other men also murder, it's okay for them to murder black women is irresponsible.
I don't think no one was saying that, by the way. I feel like she's reaching here.
I'm trying to figure out how you transition from talking about the issue between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion to talking about the murder rates between black men and black women and such. No one died in that situation, thankfully. So like that has nothing to do with nothing.
Well, she kind of like flipped, as you see. I know just like earlier in the time, she kind of always flipped it into like, this is the whole thing about black women not being protected at all. And, she blames like people like Kevin Samuels and like most people in the red pill community. It's just like, so like I said, there's a lot to hold there. And usually like when people get to debates like this, whatever happens personal, because I believe she's like single with cats and not married or never been married. So she's just like, I feel like there's a lot of hidden anger that kind of came out in this video. So
oh yeah, her response,
Did you just say
her
single
response
with
to everything
cats?
she's saying was definitely an emotional one.
you see that? That's her cat. There's a picture of a cat, but there's her cat. She has cats. But
I'm sorry, that still shot and the way her eyes look right here is funny to me.
Oh, look, there's another picture of a cat too. Look at that. She got lips. So
I'm not no fucking clown here to be played with. I'm not some fucking idiot. I told you what it was. It is hard for black women to call the cops on black men because they keep making us feel like every time the cops is involved with them, the cops are killing them for no fucking reason. And instead of black men saying, thank you, black women, for taking these fucking ass whippings, instead of calling the fucking cops on me where I could be murdered, they go, well, why you can't call the cops? Right. So you're gonna get blamed one way or the other. If you call the cops on these niggas, they're gonna blame you. If you don't call the cops on these niggas, they're gonna blame you for getting your ass beat.
I've always disagreed with that. If you know, because we the first people to tell you that nigga no good. It's usually, and either the man, and I say this, either if the man wants to sleep with you or not, or he has a crush on you or not, we could tell a no good. And I say this, usually men can tell a no good nigga from a good nigga. If we tell the nigga a good dude, we usually like vouch for him. He's a good dude. But I've never would say thank you black women for taking the ass whipping for this shit, especially if a nigga just like is known for beating women. It was just like I tell you, look, I don't want you to get with him in the first place. The nigga beats women.
There's something I want to say to that, because there's reasons why, like I know the reasons why women kind of do that. You know, everyone around them is telling them that whatever person they're dealing with ain't worth it, there, and then they still stick around. I'm pretty sure I know part of the reason for that, but like I feel like it's a conversation for another day though, because that ventures into a whole other topic of discussion, and I want to stay on task with this here.
All right.
Well, I feel like sis needs to speak for herself and stop speaking on the behalf of black women, because I will be the first woman to tell any of my friends to call the police, take his ass to jail,
Yeah, beat him.
send him to prison,
Beat him that play.
lock him up, let them hit the
Well,
hammer on his head. I
my
refuse to play victim role, talking about some, if I don't call the police, this and that, I'll be who cares?
My question to this woman is straight up, who hurt you?
Her damn cats.
Because you can.
Let her tell it.
No,
It's probably
no,
black.
no, no. I was trying to be serious, and you did that. So you're like, damn. Oh shit! I wasn't ready for that.
Cast away. I don't know. What the
but I was gonna say, she's clearly speaking from a place of like emotion, a place of pain, a place of some type of unresolved trauma. Because it's like you're too angry about this.
Exactly.
You're way too angry about this. Who fucked you up?
It's giving very much a victim.
I will say this. I do understand the anger because you don't want to see nobody murdered. You don't want to see black women murdered.
Right.
But it's just like, but I feel like this is where the disconnect from black men and black women is. It's just like, because I feel like as men, we're just when we talk about things, we're trying to break down like what is the culprit and how we solve things and some shit like that. And it's just like, well, did you know and then we'll grow people to like to the umpteenth until we get the answer that we need, like just like interrogations, like looking for a murder. It's like, did you know this man was a murder? Did you know this man was good? Did you vet him enough? Did you see any red flags that you ignored? Did you do this and this? It's like all of the above. We will vet, and then I know for some women it's just like it's annoying because some of them make you think like, oh, I'm like, because a lot of women feel like when you do that, you're putting the blame on the woman, and it's just like not that. It's just like maybe you didn't see, because most men it's just like maybe you didn't see the signs, maybe you don't understand this red flags, maybe, and most people, like there's ticks that most people have that you probably didn't see, and maybe you can recognize, and most people that's been in that situation recognize it. So most of the time, like black, we're not like trying to say it's your fault, but we just more or less try to get to the bottom of shit. But I would tell you this: if I tell you a nigga no good, it's like, hey, that nigga no good. I would at least say, I told you this nigga was no good. I don't know why you didn't listen to me. It's like, oh, he was, because some people will ignore you and they will ignore red flags. I've seen that.
Again, the things I want to say in regards to that, but I'm gonna start a whole other conversation, and we're going to be in here a while.
All right, let's continue the video because I think it's almost over.
And if this case is not an example of what black men do, instantly they was like, oh, she lying. Instantly, these niggas think it's a game. Them young black men in there are
Stop. Pause. Does she not pay attention to social media? Because literally about 99% of the black community, especially black men, jump down Tory Lanez's throat. So what? Again, sorry for the background noise.
Hey man, what can I say? Some people have tunnel vision. Most people don't see it. I'm with you. I was like, bro, it's just, and you and I was just like, yo, Tory shot Meg, and all that other stuff. I'm pretty sure Father was like, Tory shot Meg, and again, like, even though I was like, when Meg told the story that how Tory shot Meg, even I was just like, I need to hear both sides of the story, and did he shoot Meg and all that other stuff? So here we are. So like I said, and the way these courts and the way the judges and Kelsey pleading the fifth so she won't incriminate herself, it's just like, wow, it's just like there's more to it than what was led on. So let's continue.
Only villain they have to worry about is being shot by another black man or maybe the cops. Black women got to worry about being killed by a black man, killed by a black woman, killed by their fucking friends, killed by the fucking police, everybody.
I also want to say that we may not show it, but we also worry about all the things that may or may not kill us. Like somebody can really like especially in places busy like New York or DC, niggas could just like walk up to you and just stab you for no reason. I don't think she don't realize how, and I say this about a lot. I don't think a lot of people don't realize how cautious black men are with each other. Like, especially like compared to like how white men, especially when I learned, because I used to tell white people in the Navy all the time, it was like, yo, you too close to me. I don't know you like that to be close to me. It's like, you're in my bubble. Like black people, we have a bubble. It's just like, unless we like really, really, really trust you, we don't like nobody close to us. So I disagree with that one fully.
You think they worried about me coming to their fucking neighborhood and killing them? They are not. I get tired of this shit. And then black women are disproportionately loyal to a fucking community that doesn't give a fuck about them as we continue to be the backbone of this fucking community getting no fucking respect. And I'm trying to figure out, why are black women doing it? Why are you standing here in a community that will shit on you, not respect you, and then when you try to go find something somewhere, some solace, then they laugh at you? It's ridiculous. Black women been doing this shit since the motherfucking dawn of time. We was raped, and our foremothers were raped in this fucking country, disrespected by the fucking men. We having high single mother rates, motherfuckers abandoning black women everywhere. Then black women go to help themselves, become entrepreneurs, get educated, take care of their fucking self, and then these niggas still gonna blame you for that and tell you you don't deserve love or fucking companionship or a fucking man. Them. And I'm tired of the shit. Because I'm a black woman. And that's the shit that happens to black women. And any black man that don't fucking get it, fuck him.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Say that I agree with you. I actually feel like us as
that's about mostly it. That's most of the rant. So I want to start with you, B. What you think about that whole thing?
I think she is delusional. She is. She needs all the understanding that life can bring her. Because this was no rant. This was angry, and she has surpassed like what would consider common sense at this point. Like this is not even about Tory Lanez no more. Now she just want to vent all the anger and frustration she feel about men. Um, or men that passed her by, that didn't look at her, that didn't find her beautiful, that didn't care enough for her. Because this had nothing to do with Tory Lanez no more and Megan Thee Stallion. This was all about her feelings and her emotions. Because at the end of the day, if you keep the right type of men around you, you always should feel protected. And if you know for a fact that, like you say, if you don't feel comfortable around certain men, why would you just constantly stay next to this person? So her rant, or whatever it want to be considered, yeah, I don't have the same. I don't feel that same type of way. I can't say her feelings and her emotions isn't valid because I didn't have those type of guys around me. And I wasn't seeking validation from guys.
Okay. What did I miss? I had to deal with something real quick.
I just basically ended the rant. So, and what are your thoughts on the whole rant thing? So, yeah.
Okay. There was a lot of projecting and a lot of generalizing going on. And it served no real purpose. Again, like a lot of what she was going on about had nothing to do with their original topic of discussion. Portions of what wow, okay, like I said earlier, she did have some, some valid points, but a lot of what she was saying was just flat out not true. Especially and this is and the part that really got me like, wait a minute, lady, was how she was talking about how everybody just assumed Megan was lying. Because let's go back into what happened when this story first came out. We all, now, while we didn't see in the original video, we didn't see the shooting itself, but we saw Megan get out of the car. We saw her limping. We saw the blood on her fucking leg. So it was obvious she was shot. So naturally, we see that footage, and she said, "Oh, Tory Lanez shot her in the leg or whatever." Again, everybody from what I saw jumped down Tory Lanez's fucking throat. He was the scum of the earth at that point to the black community. Like I said, he was being called every bitch ass nigga in the book. A lot of rappers was just dogging, cussing about,
A lot of them didn't want to work with Tory.
Right. It was just, it was a mess. But then for her to sit there and talk about how like everyone would just immediately demonize Megan Thee Stallion, there was a very small percentage of people who did say she was lying, but the vast majority of people who were looking at this was saying, oh, Tory Lanez did XYZ. They was just dragging Tory Lanez through the mud. So again, what social media were you on?
Yeah, Uh, I've always said this when it comes to the black community, because a lot of people's like, who's at fault? The black community, the black man or black woman, and I've always said it's both of us, because both of us is there's parts of the community that all of us do that doesn't help or contribute to the black community that we continuously do, and it continuously hurt us. It says all we. I feel like if we take accountability for all those things that we do wrong, and do more of the things we do right, and tweak some of the things that, which is why I said the black community don't need burning down, more or less need tweaking. Uh, if we could just tweak some things, I feel like we could just put ourselves in the right direction. The one thing, um, I feel like what's really been going on, like I said, it's been like this war between black women and black men that I feel like if we get into, both of us is losing, because we need each other. I've always said that black men and black women need each other. I'm never going to say I don't need black women, because most of my time, especially like even during the military, I would say a lot of black women have looked out for me to where I give my love to them anytime. Um, so I can never like turn my back on black women when it's like I love them too much. I say, are there faults on both? Like I said, are there faults on both sides? Yeah, there are faults on both sides. I feel like as long as we take that accountability and then try to fix those things that are wrong, we we could do better. So with this, I can tell like she has been broken. Like I look at her name is Yamanika Sanders, by the way, but and I've been it's funny, like she's been on this tip since like even back then when Patrice O'Neill was alive, because she was on a radio show with Patrice O'Neill and she been like spewing the same shit, and it's just like shit ain't changed. It's just like, woo. It's just like to me, it's just like most people like this are broken. So, uh, and although her passion, I can understand her passion for black women and black women being protected, and sometimes it's just like I said, who you need protection from, because sometimes there are people that need protection from themselves, and like we could and as men, we can put up insurmountable of evidence of sometimes like black women being detrimental to community and call that out. But I've also called out when black men like do some dumb shit that's detrimental to community and call that out. It's just like if we just all of a sudden just take accountability of the things, I feel like uh we should be able to do better. So that's all I gotta say about that. Anybody else want to say something about that?
No, what you said was facts.
Okay. Any any last thoughts before I shut this reaction slash after party video down? But oh, wait.
All right, hello. Okay, there we go. Nah, I stepped outside and my shit cut out for a second.
Okay. Okay. I said any last thoughts before on this before I shut it down, because we are already an hour in.
There's a lot that needs to be. There's a lot that needs to be fixed. You're right. With this particular with this particular situation between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, this this a prime example of why you should pick your battles, because again, you know, how many times has Megan switched stories, and how large of a percentage of the black community was on Tory Lanez's ass throughout this whole thing. And as far as what'd you say her name was? Yamanika what now?
Yamanika Sanders.
Yamanika Sanders. Um you know what? I get it. I get. Like again, kind of repeat what you said. I get where she's coming from with a lot of what she was saying. However, you cannot sit here and villainize the community at large for the actions of a select few. You can't do it.
Okay,
Well,
not to cut you off, but let me ask you this because there was a part of the video where we didn't get. I probably should have played, but she also feel like the people that don't do it, the black men that don't do it, needs to uh, talk to the people that do it and get them to stop it. Do you? And I'm paraphrasing it, but it's just like because do you agree with that? It's just like
we did kind of sort of speak on that when we started talking about how getting in between certain situations, getting involved in certain things could potentially get you hurt.
Live streaming is on.
all right, go ahead.
All right. So even though we didn't play that particular portion of the video, we did kind of touch on that particular subject. Again, pick your battles. Pick your fucking battles. The only thing I can really say to that, like there's nothing I can say about that we didn't already say. We spoke about how a person could come to a woman's defense and she's in a bad situation with some dude and she'll still go back to him, or that woman will turn on the person trying to help her. We already mentioned that. There's really nothing else that can be said about that hasn't already been said.
Right.
But yeah, that's that.
All right. Big, you got anything to say before I shut this down?
Not really. I feel like we said everything that needed to be said.
All right. I think we done said a lot. In conclusion, black men, we need each other. Stop the bullshit, and hopefully, we can learn a lot from this case and from each other. So it's obviously we got so far to go. So I would like to thank Material Life and Dion for jumping on this, and hopefully I get to do more of this after party stuff whenever shit like this pops up. So this is Let me just say podcast, and we sign it out. Peace.
Peace.